Hey everyone, Dr. Erik here with MedBetterHealth, where we help caregivers like you with everything dementia. We're a guide model participant. If you want to find out about what the guide model is, there's a link right over here, and I'll tell you after. But today, actually, look, I want to talk to you about something important. You're a caregiver. You're taking care of your person living with dementia. And you know, taking a shower or bathing or washing is an important part of being a human being, right? I mean, there's hygiene that's involved with it. And you're coming up to your mom, and let me know in the comments below if this is something that you go through. You're coming up to your mom and you're like, "Mom, we have to go take a shower." "No, honey, I don't want." "Mom, it's been 5 days already." "Honey, I told you I don't want it." "Mom, I'm telling you, your room now smells. We can't do this anymore." "I told you I don't want to take a shower," right? Now think about that. How many of you are going through that? Well, if you are, I've got some suggestions and advice for you in this video, and you're in for a treat. Let's go. So the caregiver sees a hygiene task. That's what you see. But the person living with dementia, what do they see? They are experiencing a loss of control. Now let's take a look at some of the things I mentioned. What the caregiver says: "Mom, you need to shower." Sounds familiar? Yes. Okay. "No, you didn't already take one." "I took one already yesterday." "No, you didn't take one already." "You smell. You have to bathe." So what's the observation for you as the caregiver? Stubbornness. Mom is just so stubborn. I don't know, she's so weak and lazy. Bad behavior, right? Those are some of the feedback. Now, let's take a look at what the patient, what the person living with dementia actually is feeling inside. Number one, "I'm exposed." Look, I got kids, right? And let me ask you a question. How many of you, I always ask this, I recently spoke at the World Health Expo. The World Health Expo had about 15,000 people in attendance. And I asked the question, I said, out of all the audience, how many of you feel comfortable being exposed in front of your kids, being naked? How many hands do you think went up? How many hands do you? Anybody raising your hands back in the digital audience? I'm sure nobody is, right? So what is the patient feeling? "Oh my God, I'm exposed in front of my wife, my daughter, my son, another person who I don't know." That's one thing they may be feeling. Number two, "I'm afraid I'm going to fall. It's slippery. Every time I come in, the floor is cold. I'm afraid I'm going to fall." Okay. Number three, the water is loud. Remember, when a person is living with dementia, their brain, their cognition gets overloaded. Their sensory information, you can't overstimulate their sensory system from a cognitive perspective. Water is too loud. "I do not know why I have to take my clothes off. Why are they asking me to do that?" Okay? So the mistake is turning hygiene into a courtroom debate. If the approach creates shame, you have to do it. "It smells already. People don't want to be here." The bathroom becomes a battleground. So, wow, look at this. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to look at this, right? And by the way, we have an incredible, incredible resource for you. If you want to get access to stuff like this, I want you to visit thedementiatimes.com, thedementiatimes.com, and you can actually see the link over here. And if you're a caregiver and you want support like this, like I'm going to teach you right now, there's a new Medicare program. It's covered completely. There's zero cost to you, and folks like me train you, hold your hand, and also provide someone to be in your home so you can get relief. And if you're interested in learning more about that program, look, there's a link right here. There's a QR code. Go check it out. Also, there's a link in the description. You're gonna love it. It's gonna change your life. But before that, let's continue learning, because I want to teach you. I want you to walk away today with something practical that will change your life. Just like the guide model changes over 30,000 lives in the United States of America. So, you ready? Let's go. If you take a look at bathing, we think it's just a one-step process, but let's go quickly through it. It's a 13-step process. I'm gonna speak quick, so you gotta listen quicker on this one. They have to understand why bathing is happening. They have to remember if they already bathed. They have to tolerate undressing, tolerate cold air, tolerate water on the body, stand or transfer safely. These are all the steps that need to go into showering or bathing, right? They have to process different temperature, follow multi-step instructions that you're telling them to do, know the order of washing, communicate if they're in discomfort. They have to trust the caregiver and manage the embarrassment of being exposed. These are just some of the things that are involved. So if you think about it, a person who has dementia, dementia interferes with memory, judgment, sequencing, sensory interpretation. So this whole thing is way too much. So the first thing I want you to understand is the problem, the why. The why is so important. Why is my dad not wanting to go take a shower? All right, now that you understand the why, let's kind of understand what else is there. Where there are certain triggers in the bathroom. Mirrors, they can trigger hallucination or confusion. Tile and hard surfaces. Man, I don't like the cold. I'm just that guy that loves the warm weather, right? I love everything warm. So when I come into the shower, if my tiles are very, very cold, like I don't like it. But imagine if you're an elderly person, you have dementia, you don't like the cold, period, and now you're stepping on from a carpet to a cold tile floor. That's going to turn you off. That's going to make you uncomfortable and resistant from going back to that place, right? Lighting. Maybe there's bright lighting in the shower that's turning them off and saying, wow, it's too much overload for me. And the shower head. Imagine you're a person who has dementia, you're elderly, and all of a sudden there's this splash of water hitting your face. Imagine all those things. That is the reason why many people living with dementia do not want to go into the shower and experience that firsthand. All right, now, changing the approach. The shower is not the first step. When you as a caregiver are speaking to a person living with dementia, it's not the shower. Your goal is not the shower. Your goal is to establish trust so they trust you with no matter what you're telling them to do because you're saying it the right way. And we're going to teach you how to do that here, right? The goal is not to overpower the person into hygiene. The goal is to redesign the bath so it feels less threatening because they trust you. So let's go into that. Do not invite them into a problem. Remember, I told you, to them the shower is a problem. Instead, invite them into a prepared, controlled, beautiful, lovely environment. So, what am I describing? Let's look at the atmosphere. Play some nice music. If your loved one loves Frank Sinatra, like, fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. You know, play that music for them there. So they're coming in, there's nice music, right? Warm the bathroom. Usually it's recommended 75 degrees, right, Fahrenheit. Warm it up a bit. Pre-warm the towels, so when you're applying it on their body, it's actually warm. It's a great feeling. Cover the mirrors if you're looking at it and they're looking at it and they're kind of feeling distressed with it, okay? Logistics. Check the water temperature beforehand. Lay out the clothing. Prepare everything before so they're not exposed, they're not wet. Oh, let me go get your trousers. Let me go get your this. Let me go. No, you want to make sure everything is prepared beforehand. And if you're a caregiver, if you're working for a home health aid agency and you're assisting a family of a person living with dementia, that's what you've got to do, right? And you will be loved by the family, by the person living with dementia. Lay out the clothes. Place the soap within immediate reach. Safety guidelines. Install non-slip mats and a clear path. Make sure that floor that I talked about has the rubber mats that are non-slip and they don't make them feel cold when they're stepping on it, right? Because it's rubbered, it's not tile, it's not marble. Set up a sturdy shower chair beforehand and attach a handheld shower head. A handheld shower head is a lot better than the one that hangs there and splashes them, right? And we'll talk about that in a few. Never bring a person into a cold, echoing room and then start searching for supplies. So that's very important advice. All right, you are not just cleaning the body. Man, this is so important. Like, I don't even know how to communicate this. I get chills talking about this because, you know, think about it. Think about you. You're going to be 80 years old one day. You're going to be 85 years old one day. And then think about someone undressing you. How does that make you feel right now, right? I'm talking to you, right? Think about it. How does that make you feel right now? So the person living with dementia, our goal is not just to clean the body. Our goal is to protect the dignity. And I have Ron here, who's my head of digital. Ron, yesterday I was at a meeting, and man, I was at a meeting in a restaurant, and I'm sitting there, and I'm about to leave. I was with a friend of mine, Greg, and I'm leaving. I was with my wife, with my kid. He was with his family, and I'm leaving, and a gentleman gets up from the restaurant from a table and says, "You're Dr. Erik, right?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Dr. Erik, I got to tell you, my mom's going through dementia right now, and I follow you on social. I read you on the Dementia Times." And he's like, "Thank you so much, because one of the articles that you talked about and one of the videos that you posted, and you can see it right here if you're on YouTube, it's called Delirium, right? It talks about delirium." He's like, "Man, I watched it and changed my life because I started to understand. I took my mom to the hospital because I realized it wasn't dementia, but it was delirium." That was a wow moment for me, right? So helping you guys understand about the dignity is super important to me. It makes me feel great. So next time you see me in a restaurant, come up and say hello. I'd love to meet you in person. So upper body, keep a warm towel draped over shoulders. Lap at all times. Wash underneath the towel. Look at that. There's the coverage over here. It's covered, and you're washing underneath the actual towel. Sequencing. Wash strictly one area at a time. Never expose the full body. It's not, boom, let's get naked. No. All right? You're going to cover these areas. Sequence. Wash strictly one area at a time. Autonomy. Let the person wash their own private areas if they are physically able to. Involve them in the process as much as possible. Next, communication rules for touch. Explain the action before making physical contact. "Mom, what I'm going to do now is," right? Ask permission. "Mom, is it okay if we wash over here?" Right? Avoid any comments about odor, body, shape, cleanliness. Keep your voice calm. Keep your smile open. Let Frankie, old Blue Eyes, sing that Frank Sinatra song that we talked about. That is what you want to have. And I'm telling you, it's not going to be imagine a world. It's going to be a real world where you see the difference. Okay, now, no control feels threatening, but too much control feels overwhelming. Avoid open-ended questions. "Do you want to get cleaned up today?" "Why won't you take a shower?" You don't want to say that. What do you say instead? "Would you like the blue towel or the white towel when we're going to go and wash up today?" Not shower, wash up today, right? "When we go to the spa today together," right? "Okay, do you want a shower or a washcloth bath today? Do you want to bathe now or in 15 minutes? What am I doing? I'm giving the control to the person living with dementia. Offering two acceptable concrete options gives the illusion of what? The illusion of control without requiring heavy cognitive processing. Okay. Do not give them the whole shower. Give them the next step. Man, this is so important. You can't even imagine it. A person living with dementia, they have cognitive sensory overload. You and I may process information easier, but these folks, unfortunately, too much information is a lot of information for them to process. So what do? I always tell my team, how do you eat an elephant? One piece at a time. You're not eating everything right away. So when you're telling them about taking a shower, you're going slow. You're going through, "Let's walk to the bathroom together." That's step one. "Here is a warm towel for your shoulders." That's step two. "Please sit on the chair." Step three. "Hold this washcloth." Now you get the point, right? Step by step by step. Don't give them all the steps together. Break it down and then introduce them one by one. Okay, the warm towel first technique. Signals safety before undressing. Initiate, warm towel, anchor. Start with non-threatening areas first. The hands, the face, not the private areas. Let the person hold something like the soap. Narrate calmly. Assess. So these are all important. Now, here's over here. Clean is the goal. Clean is the goal. The shower is only one tool. So low stress, targeted partial bath, sponge bath. A little higher now, shower chair with handheld spray. Full stress is when they're fully standing, fully showering. That's a high stress environment. Now talk about frequency. This is going to be important. A lot of caregivers are going to ask, well, how often should I have my loved one take a shower? Frequency. Daily bathing is often unnecessary unless the person is incontinent. Once or twice a week may be sufficient. Okay, that's important information. Hair. This is so important. Separate hair washing from body washing. Use dry shampoo and a salon sink or a damp washcloth to prevent the panic of water hitting the face in a person living with dementia. All right, that's very, very important. Now, do not assume they hate bathing. They may hate what bathing feels like. So if you get the environment right, you're going to be on track. Okay, I hope this video was very, very helpful for you. I want to tell you, imagine a world where you have someone like me helping you and my team helping you, whether mom's not eating, mom's not bathing, mom doesn't want to get dressed, mom is agitated. Imagine a world where you have access to someone 24/7 to help you with that. How does that sound? Okay, imagine a world where at 10 p.m. mom is acting a little strange and you don't know what to do. Who are you going to call? Now, don't say Ghostbusters. You're not going to call Ghostbusters. Imagine a world if you have a hotline number that can walk you through that specific situation. And last but certainly not least, and there's so many more benefits, but imagine a world where you're exhausted, but every Sunday for, let's say, 19 weeks in a row, you have someone coming to your home from a private duty agency for 4 hours that Sunday, and you can go shopping, get your hair done, get your nails done, and Medicare will actually pay for all these services, including that person in your home. Well, you don't have to imagine that anymore. If this is something you're interested in, I want you to do a simple thing. Look up right over here. There is a website. I want you to go to it. It's also in the description, and you'll also see a QR code that you can scan. Once you scan it or go to the website, you'll see a page with a video explaining this new Medicare program. Zero cost, doesn't change your doctor, doesn't change your pharmacy, doesn't cost you anything. Everything stays the same. I want you to fill out the simple application, and then someone from my team will reach out to you and take that imagined world and make it your reality. Subscribe, like this video, comment below, and I want you to also visit thedementiatimes.com, which you'll see over here. It will be an incredible, incredible resource for you. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next video.